turn that down. All right, welcome back, System Wars, to another edition of Pedal to the Metal 2.0 with no TV in the background. As always, our Master Shredder. Guys are going to Comic-Con in a couple weeks, and they're going to meet ISIS, I heard. So, let's welcome Roika. What's up, man?
Nothing, man. Just living life and trying to avoid ISIS at all.
Especially those Islamic British ones, watch out for that motherfucker.
All of them, man. How do we live in a world where people want to cut each other's heads off? Has it gotten that bad? Is the economy that bad?
Is this where the podcast is now?
I don't. Yeah.
Oh my god! Guys, I'm out of here.
Well, you probably played the game with the swords and just took it a step further. I don't know.
God.
All right. So what's up, hero?
Nothing, man. Everything's good. I'm psyched about Comic-Con. Just playing a lot of Destiny right now. Trying not to make too much of a decision on the game until I really get through a good chunk of it. And last night I finished it, so I kind of excited to talk about that and kind of, I guess, my final opinion of the game. So.
Now wait, did you finish the main raid?
I finished the main story. I finished the story.
So did you do that ice raid?
No, I'm a level.
Vault of Glass.
I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a level 23, and you know what? I'm pretty much just at the point now where I'm just looking for. I'm trying to farm things. I'm trying to get engrams, and I'm getting to the part everybody is so pissed about, which is the part where you realize that you can play the game for several hours on end and actually accomplish nothing over that. Absolutely nothing.
Literally fuck everything.
And I just want to point out that, as actually Animal said, it's like vanilla Diablo. Now, having said that, I beat the original Diablo, stood in line, so I got to that point in Inferno where 3 it kicked my ass. I wasn't good enough, and I didn't want to buy the gear, or the combination of both. Wasn't good enough, and didn't want to buy the gear to continue, so I gave it up. Now, fast forward, 2 years later, and I've got the Evil Within edition for the PS4, and they got away with the auction house, and they redid their loot, and they also redid their drops, and it's always my second character, and it's always, what's nice is there's always the loot, so you never feel like, man, I'm just fucking stuck, I can't get anything. I haven't bought anything at the vendors, they're pretty much useless. You always get drops, and I even got fair share legendary one. So
wow.
Anyway,
I got my first legendary engram last night. I'm playing through it. I beat the main story. I'm doing a couple of strikes, and I get a legendary engram just randomly. I'm like, oh, I finally got one. And of course, I turned it in, and it turned into just a piece of rare equipment instead of legendary. Because I don't know if that's how Diablo works, Kyle, but
no, that's not how it works.
Yeah, see, in Destiny, you can get a legendary, basically a blueprint for a particular item. So, and then you got to take an eye on the tower who turns that item or that engram into the piece of equipment that you hope it's going to be. But what it does is it basically, if you get a purple engram, which is a legendary engram, you can have the guy turn it into something, and it might turn into a legendary engram, but it might also turn into a piece of shit armor, and mine turned into a piece of shit.
Yeah. The way Diablo is now, you get it, and you take it, and you identify it, and it does a random roll. For the most part, you'll get one of the 3 attributes. There's damage, there's armor, and then there's, they call it plus, but that's how much, I think life per hit or life after kill that you get. Usually one of those is a bump up.
Yeah.
Which you like to see is all green across all boards, and you got a good piece of equipment.
Right. Yeah. Animal, what do you think?
I think you guys found if you get a legendary in Diablo, it's an orange. It's always a legendary. It drops an orange, it makes a special sound, and you're not going to take it to the decoder or and it's not gonna. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh. And now I will say they got rid of that too. And
it's not called the Evil Within edition. That was annoying the shit out of me. It's the Ultimate Evil edition.
The Evil Within.
No, it's not. That is no.
Yes.
No, it is called the Ultimate Evil edition. The Evil Within is a new Tommy coming out this October.
They merged though, so the guys at Blizzard say it's okay. So
no, they
anyway,
didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. But no, anyways, it's just kind of like when you get the engrams, they're unidentified pieces of gear. No, I hate the fact that whatever color you get, there's a chance it could be another color.
Right.
It's fucking stupid. If I get a purple engram, item should be a purple item.
Well,
if I'm getting a blue, it should be blue,
Absolutely.
and if I'm getting a green, it should be green.
Absolutely.
That's how all the loot games work. Even in WoW, regardless, Hyle's right. When you get it, it rolls the weapon to whatever it is.
Right.
But it's still a legendary weapon. You don't get a legendary in Diablo, and it's all of a sudden a rare. Right, Hyle? It's always a legendary.
Hyle.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. And every time you get one, great too is they gave which now most people have got the short-sighted disease where they played the game for a month and now they're moving on. But you pick up pieces dropped for other players on your list. So they'll say a gift for Eroica, and you send that to them. And every gift I've always been a bump up every for the piece of rare it was. Now, of course, fast forward to today where I only have one or two people are still playing it. You don't get very many, but that's still okay. But yeah, the rare is always red. They actually put a star when it drops. A big beam of light comes up, so you know not to pass it. And then they also put a star on your map in case you
know it's a legendary.
In case you because sometimes when you drop and there's a lot going on, you could have 10 things close to each other plus gold, so it kind of gets mixed up. So they mark it well.
Mm. So is there an end game to all this loot? Is there an elite piece of armor or weapon in the...
No, you just keep going and you keep speccing your character better for the higher difficulties. The cool thing about Diablo 3 and Reaper of Souls is they added the adventure mode. So you can go and fight rare bounties, kind of like the strike missions.
Okay.
But they add 5 different things, and they're always randomized. I don't get why in the year 2014, Bungie can't randomize, maps or could have created unique strike missions or what have you, whereas in Diablo 3, it's always randomized.
And what are those rift runs called? You get the special...
The rift gates. You go into the rift gates and you fight a special boss, and you get special items. Mm. It's really cool. But in Destiny, they shorthand you for your hard work. They basically mock you at every turn. It's kind of getting to the point where it's the best way I put it is listen, I understand that most of these loot games roll on a random number generator or some kind of random system, but the fact of the matter that somebody doing all this work is getting rewarded jack shit, it's not compelling me to play.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It might be more difficult than we give them. It took.
But they did it 10 years ago with Diablo 2.
Well, even Diablo 3 though, the release of Diablo 3, those guys had, you could say, infinite resources. Hell, they just canceled 7 years. Most companies would release it because they had 7 years in it. Blizzard can just say,
But what does that have to do with...
Well, no, I'm saying it took them 2 years to tweak the loot system of a loot game to where it's good.
But it wasn't the fact that it wasn't
the auction house.
But the problem was Blizzard had a specific vision for Diablo 3 which they carried out, and they realized they fucked it up. It wasn't oh hey, we screwed this up from the beginning. It was the vision tied to the game. Excuse me. It was the vision tied to the game, and that's what screwed it up. Within 2 years, what was it? It was 3 or 4 months before they rolled out, or 6 months before Reaper of Souls, they rolled out Loot 2.0, and they're like, all right, we're dismantling the auctions, we're going to do this, and then we're going to get things for the way everybody's been asking for, and they really listened. But Bungie, like, if I get a legendary Ingram, it could be a green, and that's so insulting. Right. That's so insulting to my time. Like, playing 40 minutes in a strike, getting a legendary Ingram, and then having it turn out to be a green or a blue that's worse. It's stupid, and it doesn't contribute to your level at all sometimes. Like, the light level stuff is so beyond me, and it's so stupid. Like, why not just cap 30 at that point? Put a stats thing in there so everyone can create unique builds.
That's what I'm giving them. I think they'll get there because they have the resources, and they're going to listen.
They absolutely will, but to me, now this game... But the game has to reward the players. You can't entice players to come back so late when it's like a slap in the face.
So I'm going to ask you guys a final question here, and then we're going to move. So a person like me who hasn't bought the game, buy it today, yes or no? We'll go to Iroka and give I don't know. You can give a couple minutes why, yes or no.
All right. Well, I mean, I hopefully won't take up too much time, but like my answer is yes, based solely on the fact that the game is so accessible. Like, I don't really truly believe that anybody who has picked up Destiny was disappointed or let down by the gameplay. I think, if anything, people have their legit claims on the mission structures, the monotony of the game, that it doesn't really go anywhere. The story is completely vapid. It's not a groundbreaking experience that I think I was kind of hyped and for. But the game, I mean, here I am now 25 hours into my experience with Destiny. I've played just about every single night since I've had the game, for a little while, and I'm still wanting to go pick it up. I'm still wanting to go search for loot. I'm still wanting to go experience the game, albeit I'm done with it, but at the same time, I'm like, I can totally see where the frustration. I think it depends really on what kind of gamer you are. Like, if it's something that you feel comfortable burning through for 25 hours, and that gets you your $60 worth, then great. But like, I think that John put it absolutely perfect. The way that he said about basically what's wrong with the game, how the loot system is broken. Like, the game has got so flaws that are under the layers, but on the surface is a really accessible and fun first-person shooter that has some cool locales and interesting things to do. But I don't know. I wouldn't. Glad I purchased Destiny day one. Like, I like the game, but it's not a game of the year. I don't know.
I would say I'm so up in the air because Destiny is such. At its core, it's such a good game. It has such solid gameplay, and it's such an interesting game to play with friends. But the end game stuff and the character progression stuff is so poor, and the drive for loot is just, like I said, it's like a slap in the face. Like, I don't want to sit playing a strike for 4 months. By the way, they're finally going to strike in the boss room in the next patch, upping the damage you do and lessening damage the boss does.
Oh,
which is nice because they're bullet sponge enemies. But like, it's just kind of it has such a solid core, but it has such a weak shell surrounding it, and it's really got a long way to go, and it's just it needs to reward the player. Like, I don't want to sit in a strike and then get a purple Engram and then take it back and get a green. I want to get a purple that's going to progress my character.
Yeah. But I think that in what you're saying is absolutely right. But I think the game is worth now the way it stands, especially when there's games out there, like, for example, I'm not trying to pick on Call of Duty, I'm on the Call of Duty train, but like, what's it called, Future Warfare that's coming out? Call it Warfare. Advanced Warfare to me is not worth $60 buy because I'm only going to play it for the single player, which is going to last 6 hours long. Like, Destiny has more than given me a full game's worth of content.
Amazing replay value.
Absolutely. And I will say this, Hyle, like, to answer your question more thoroughly, I think that the people who jump into Destiny a year from now are going to be the people that really truly enjoy the game. I think the people that are doing it now are kind of looking at it going, what that now? And I would argue that, to Bungie's discredit, that they're the ones that came out publicly and said that the game changes and evolves and becomes better after level 20, where I would say that I'm at level 23, and from level 20 to 23 have probably been the least compelling parts of the game, because everything is left to chance and there's nothing to work towards. You can just basically run around and shoot everybody you want, and nothing matters because you're just hoping that somebody drops something.
Well, you have to look forward to the raid, but like they really need to sharpen up their content. They really need to take Destiny to a grindstone, and they really need to refine it, because playing the same old strikes, playing 3 or 4 strikes over and over again, just kind of disheartening, and not progressing your character is very disheartening. At least in Diablo, and I hate to draw the comparison, but if Destiny is a loot game, and Bungie hasn't come out and said it's a loot game, it needs to, it really needs to find its ground and stick to it. And they also need to reward the players a lot as well. I think if you're going to reward the players, don't tease them with something that could be potentially awesome and then take it away from them. Give it to them. It will get. I guarantee you, if everyone was rewarded with leveling up, everyone would keep playing. It's nuts. People would get that itch to go, I want to find the best fucking shit out there. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And I think, that Destiny's a really solid shooter, but with really poor
execution.
Really poor execution, and it's really sad. Because I enjoy it with you, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just pick up and play. I mean, it's so...
Yeah, it's fun, but it's just kind of I want that itch to be scratched that is scratched by games like Path of Exile and Diablo 3 and Borderlands. I don't need loot in my face every 5 seconds, but
right.
Reward me,
Right. Yeah. So how you in Diablo? Would you recommend that?
Diablo 3 is a must-buy.
Reaper of Souls?
Yes.
Yes, I would recommend that.
No,
That was very awesome. They redid the loot system, and I've had a blast with it. I'm on my second character, and also when you reach level 70, it opens up. What is the paragram? So it's called.
Oh, the Paragon system.
So after you reach level 70, you still get it's like the light of Destiny, where you get bonus attributes, and you can put them to 4 different skill levels. So really, and there's I think up to 50 of those. So there's amazing replayability. Now
I think there's 50.
I'm pretty sure there is.
You think that's a joke, Kyle? That's a joke. Paragon level has a cap of 300.
Well, I mean, at each level, then of each, you can only put 50 of in defense, 50 and.
Yeah, you get the maximum amount.
You can't put 300 into one.
It has 4 skills. It has your defense, your offense, your 2.
I really like it. I mean, but of course, there's only 5x, so you're gonna hit a wall probably. Get tired of playing the same levels. But John was right, the adventure mode, so if you want to just do boss runs, you can. There's a hardcore mode where, once you die, your character's, dead forever. They have their own achievements in game, there's no rewards, but, they have their own challenges, they're called. So you can run for those. So there's a lot of content
options. There's a lot of endgame.
6 classes. I really like it. I can't say enough about it. But you gotta like isometric, role-playing games. If you don't like those,
right?
Diablo's not gonna change your mind. But yes, I would recommend it.
Sure. So John is the or Animal the is Destiny going to get it right? Like I'm listening to Heil kind of talk about where I want Destiny to be in like a year from now, and Diablo 3's been out for what, 2-3 years?
Diablo 3 has been out for 2 years total. I don't know. Like I really don't know, because Bungie's never made this type of game. Like if it was a Halo game, I would say to myself like, okay, I get it. They can fix this in the next iteration or with minor patch and like tweaking updates, but like Destiny needs a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yeah. Like I agree that like I won I thought like vanilla Diablo 3 was good, but like Destiny, I thought the end game content was lacking. The character progression stuff was really rough, but Bungie not Bungie, Blizzard pulled it through. Like they really listened to the heart. And you know what Bungie's fixing in their next patch? Fixing the loot cave exploit. They're not.
They already fixed it. It's done.
They're fixing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they need to up drop rate and fix Ingrams, and they're worried about the loot. Yeah. Like give me a fucking break.
No, go ahead.
It's a loot cave. Like where Blizzard rolls into their exploits, Bungie's like, no, we can't have this. Nah. And that's the great thing about Blizzard, because they roll into that stuff and they say, how can we make it interesting? And how can we turn this on its head? Whereas Bungie's like, oh, we gotta fix the loot cave exploit because people are cheating. Like, I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, fix the stuff that matters.
Yeah, and little news on the patch for the whatever they call it, the farming cave or whatever.
The loot cave.
The loot cave. What they did was, and I haven't actually been there, but it's basically an endless wave of enemies that come out, and they basically said that it's turned into people firing into a black cave. You know what I mean? Just trying to like keep guys down and farm basically as much equipment as they can. And they said their conceiving of Destiny was they didn't want to be reflective of people firing into a black cave, is basically the way that they said it. I'm paraphrasing, but it seems like kind of like what you just said, Animal, that like there's a bunch of other shit that's probably far more important to take a look at. But for all we know, they're addressing it. For all we know, they're out right now gathering their data and their information. I mean, I got to believe that as gamers themselves and developers who made quite possibly the most famous first-person shooter on planet Earth, that they need to listen to their fans. They know that what is good about a game and what about a game. So you'd like to think that with all that money backing them at Activision, and I'm sure that Activision's just like pretty much do what you need to do. I mean, maybe they're not, but you'd like to think that they have the common sense to be like, all right, this is going to be a slow burn, but we've got to fix this.
Yep. I agree with part of it. I think they'll get it right. I think it's going to take them some time to get it, but eventually it's going to be a really good game. No, I mean, you can look at Metacritic score, wherever, if it's between 70 and 80, that's a good game. I think they'll make it a great game because they are Bungie, and they'll listen to the fans, and they'll try to take those suggestions, and they'll add more content. And I just the DLC kind of concerns me because it's Activision has their hands in it. I want a full, complete game for $60. And not to go too off our topic, but that might be hard to get nowadays. Even Nintendo, sorry Willie, they're starting to dabble in DLC. It's just the way it is. There could be shows on the value of DLC, which is quote unquote worth it compared to others. But it'd just be nice to be able to get a game and have a full content. That's in, I think, Diablo 3, Reapers of Souls has that. So right now, because there's just so much to do. But anyway, let's move on a little bit here. Willie, I want to ask you a question through text. We'll fill in the kids listening at home. Has Nintendo ever made a style game? And if they did, was it ever good? I do not know the history of Nintendo, and I don't want to look. Even if it's third-party, was there ever been a third-party loot game on a Nintendo system that was good, and it can be third party. I'm more interested in party. I can't think of a first party, but has there ever been a loot game that's been good?
I don't. Can you think of one, Animal?
Well, a loot game would be like you kill an enemy and it drops armor, stuff like that, and you level up your character by using those items. So like Borderlands. I asked Willie, our Nintendo tech specialist here, if Nintendo ever had a good loot game, with party or third party. You know, even with the GameCube era, Wii era, SNES, NES, Game Boy.
Yeah, there's probably been something. Yeah.
Now, one comes to mind for 3DS would be Fire Emblem, because you do pick up extra attributes. That's not really loot. Did you consider that a loot game, Animal?
Heroes, apparently, not Emblem. Heroes of Ruin, I believe a 3DS game, is Diablo-esque, and you kind of have Monster Hunter, but that's more reliant on
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
you killing monsters and crafting items.
Yeah, that is a good one. So okay. So anyway, we're gonna move on here. So last show that Eroica decided to have take his cable company down in the East Coast there. John and I, and who else is with us? I can't remember. Last ride. We from where is he from? Finland?
Sweden? Norway?
Sweden.
Okay.
We talked about some games coming out, and we talked about Sunset Overdrive. That would be October 28th. Game I'm personally really looking for. So let's go into November. Did we talk about all those games? I can't remember now, and I want to listen back.
We talked a lot about September, October. We didn't really talk about November. I mean, a lot of the stuff is
October is huge because we also have two games I don't think we brought up would be Aliens Isolation.
No, we brought it up.
Okay, and then Dragon Age.
Oh, we talked about September and October. We didn't talk November and December.
So November, they pushed back Assassin's Creed. I ordered the C edition because I passed up the last two with I don't know the character's name. I don't want to get John at me, so it's the Dez or whoever on a flagpole. I posted a picture of it. Looks kick-ass. It's going to be glorious in my cabinet. I really like the last game. I don't know why it took me. I don't know if it was the sea missions. But I never did beat the legendary shit. Those were just too fucking tough. I even found some of those forts like, Jesus Christ, man, fucking quit bombing me. So it was really cool. I don't know. The first two games just didn't stick with me. So if they got the pace right, or maybe I was just really happy that it was on the PS4 at launch and it was a good-looking game. I don't know, but it really stuck with me. It made me laugh much that I pre-ordered the CE the next game, so I hope it's more like that. So what are you guys looking for that? I know Heroic is a big fan. Are you getting burned on the game? You getting it? Yes, no?
No, every year burnt on Assassin's Creed, and every year I end up getting it. And I would say that more than not, I've had more of a favorable opinion of the franchise. I definitely believe in the kind of Ubisoft game type of thing running thin. So I'm wondering how that's going to affect Far Cry 4, which is coming out a week after Assassin's Creed Unity, which I find hilarious.
The one knock, this could be just, you guys can comment on the other days. We'll talk to John. One thing I didn't like about the last game was the better armor that you got was at the end of the game, and you used it for any missions.
Yeah, welcome to Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So is it just to put it on and do a twirl around with the camera? That's all you can do for it?
That's pretty much what I mean. I think every Assassin's Creed there was the armor of Brute in the Ezio trilogy. I remember there were a few different ones that you could get. On the Ezio trilogy that were, you'd get them pretty much. You could unlock Altair's outfit by the end of the game, and an Altair's sword, which took no damage, and you never had to get repaired, and Yeah, basically, I
You
always
got-
wonder that too. It's like, why would they give me all this stuff at the very end of the game and I
Now, was
can't?
there? No, I finished the game, but I did have assassin's mission, so I suppose I could use that armor to, invade the forts and
Yeah.
take down the targets. But yeah, I find that strange that. I know they don't want to give it to you to begin with, the armor that deflects bullets. But I just wondered. I really did that aspect of the game, and I didn't care for the deep sea diving.
That grew on me.
Kid?
After a while, at the beginning, I felt, first as I played it, I'm like, this is a pain in the ass, and then I kind of got, like anything else in games, you get into like a little bit of a with it.
Yeah,
Start to
you can't
enjoy it.
really get the shark aspect that you had to kind of.
You know what it was is that Assassin's Creed 4 had so many side activities, and granted, none of them were very deep, but they were
It had
kind of
so much game in it.
Yeah, there was a lot of like Twitch fun to be had there, like between fishing and just sailing the high seas, and like when you're sailing the high seas, what ships are you blowing up? Well, that ship's got gunpowder, and that ship's got, whatever, this, that, and the other thing. So it's like there was never a moment in Assassin's Creed 4 where there was nothing to do.
I like getting those chantes.
Oh man,
I actually went. I think I got all of those just because those are so fucking cool.
that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah, I really like. Hopefully, it's more like that. And I know I spent a lot, but I have one advantage of having a backlog is I don't tear through games like that's a knock on you, John. That's just saying you play them at a fast pace and you finish them. The one good thing about having a backlog and taking your time is I don't need to buy games now. Day one, like I used to, like at the beginning of Gen 7, I remember like one fall I bought like 6 games, and it's like, and there's no way my spot in life that I can play 6 games. So I'm picking and choosing. So I am getting that game, and then there'll be a lot to play because I will be getting Far Cry 4. So let's move on to that, maybe. What do you guys think about what have you seen? They've
Real quick question about Assassin's Creed. Is this the year it finally stumbles? Like, I mean,
Assassin's Creed 3 stumble? Or are you talking design, or are you talking about sales?
just sales in general. Like,
No.
2 games, Far Cry 4, like...
It's built up too much to where it's well, I don't think it will stumble. Now, what Ubisoft expects it to sell might be something different because they think like Tomb Raider 5 to 6 million across the platforms was not satisfactory. So, I guess what the company thinks it could be, but I think there'll be millions of sales, especially just for now that they've broke off the teams and have 2 separate games, one for the current gen platform, which I'm excited about. Hopefully they take advantage of the extra power. And they're still releasing, what's the other game called?
Rogue.
Rogue for the 360 PS3.
That's what I was going to get to. Like, first of all, obviously Assassin's Creed Unity is probably not going to sell as much, given that it's selling in a 15 million console base compared to 150 million console base or whatever.
No, it's got to be closer to a 20 million, 5 million. What is it? 5 million Wii U's, at least 5 million 360.
But yeah, but Unity's not coming out. Unity's not coming out on Wii U, is it? I don't think it is.
Oh, Windows. It'll also come out on Windows.
All right, so then it's got a heavy, given the PCs involved, it's got quite a bit of people that I'm sure are going to be playing it. But
all I know is the last game we played in the 360 was fucking amazing. It had everything I loved in the game. It had brute force to take over camp. You could do it silently. It had assassins. It had hunting. It had crafting. It had racing. It had full hand gliding things. It had parachutes. It had flight suits. It had deep sea fishing. It had fucking cool guns. It had everything I wanted. And then the co-op was even good. Netcode sucked balls.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they can fix that too, because we're gonna have a lot of fun with the co-op if that.
Far Cry 4 is going to be their game this fall.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think while Assassin's Creed is a solid franchise, I think I'm staying away from everything because I think that shit's gonna be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I like the mountain setting. I like that it could set up like, whereas the islands were really great. They gave you a lot of options. Mountains with lakes and river and all this stuff can give you so many more advantages. Like I felt like Far Cry 3 had a very like, hey, you can get pretty much anywhere and kind of work this out. But I feel like Far Cry 4 is going to be a little bit more vertical in the like the tacticalness of it. Yeah, you could get high in Far Cry 3 and stuff, but like, I mean, like you could with the vehicles, like the new little helicopter that they're showing. Like I think it's going to add a whole new dynamic. Like even if the story doesn't pan out,
Yeah.
Their stories are shit.
I think Far Cry 3 was good up until the middle point.
I would say it was paced well enough to keep me enjoying what they were presenting, all knowing that it was
Once
at the same time.
what's the ball? Once
Voz
once you had that fight and that was over, it's like what?
it was a downward trajectory, but like
They were
if they have a middle point like that again and then ramp up the insanity, like I think they could do something really special. Like I liked Voz as a villain. I think this new villain looks kind of interesting. Though I think Voz was really memorable because he was
absolutely.
It was kind for him, where it's just like, I'm just
He looked normal.
fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
He looked like a normal guy that had no superpowers, just a normal like bad, I said
Like
badass, but a normal baddie,
Sociopath. Yeah.
Yeah, sociopath that took your friend's hostage, and now it's payback, motherfucker, because I'm gonna do this for Johnny.
Yeah, the opening of Far Cry 3 was awesome. When you had to escape, when you're running through the bush getting shot at, like that was awesome.
I like the idea in Far Cry that there's a man in a mountain region who's just a self-appointed king. Like he just showed up and was like, "Yo, I'm a fucking king." Like I think that's pretty crazy too. And I think it could lead to some like really interesting dynamics between characters.
Yeah, I'm in trouble end of October and November. I got Sunset Overdrive, I got Assassin's Creed Unity, and then Far Cry. So, and I've committed to buying those games. That'll be enough for me, I think. But then, Willie's gonna bring up what other game comes out in November, Willie?
November, you have
Willie?
Halo: The Master Chief Collection.
You don't know?
You have Nor for World of Warcraft. No, 3DS is next month. I think
October.
October. When's
Super
that?
Smash Wii U is at the end of November.
Yeah, November.
Let's do a timed list here. So in the beginning of November, we have, like we said, Assassin's Creed Rogue and Unity and the Master Chief Collection all on the same day.
What was the other two besides Master Chief?
Man, November got jam-packed. November's the new October. So on the 4th, you have Call of Duty. On the 11th, you have Assassin's Creed Rogue and Unity. You have Halo: The Master Chief Collection. You have Tales of Hearts, or niche RPG. Well, I wouldn't call it niche. You have The Crew and Tropico 5, Xbox 360. The following week is the most jam-packed day I've ever seen. You got Far Cry 4. You have Dragon Age Inquisition. You have Grand Theft Auto 5 for this gen consoles.
Not good.
You have Little Big Planet 3. You have Shadow of Mordor for the 360 and PS3. You have Project Cars. Wait a
minute. Wait, hold on. Does Shadow of the Mordor come up for the new consoles?
Next week. That's next week for the new console, for these consoles, and November for the old consoles. Then you have Watch Dogs for the Wii U. And then 3 days later, you have Pokemon, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire. You have Super Smash Brothers.
I'm going to rent most of those. They also throw in... not Watch Dogs, Sleeping Dogs repack which I really love that game. The combat was like some of the best, probably next to Batman, that I played all last gen easily. Was fucking kick ass. Especially once you learn your moves, you just fucking smoked them. So yeah, I'm gonna rent a bunch of those. But
What a sick month. I'm looking over every. I might be looking at old data here, but is that true? November 18th. Wait, did Dragon Age get moved, or is that still November 18th?
Dragon Age got pushed back.
Okay.
A week to November 18th. It was originally supposed to come out the October 7th. So that was a jam-packed day, so they pushed it back a month to an even more jam-packed day.
Yeah, because they got the data I'm looking at says Dragon Age Inquisition, Far Cry 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, Little Big Planet 3, and Watch Dogs Wii U are all.
It's a crazy.
Oh my god!
I'll probably get Grand Theft Auto once it drops. So I liked it enough to where I'd like to have it for.
I wish.
I'm not buying it at 60.
If I could transfer my save data, like, I would do that, but, like, I don't want to go through that whole game again.
I don't think I can do it either. I don't know. Same thing with The Last of Us. I really kind of feel a little snake bitten about getting The Last of Us. I gave in, and I was like,
Don't feel snake bitten because you fucked up and.
Well, it's not even that I dislike the game or have any animosity towards the remake. It's just that I should have known better. I mean, I'm not gonna play the game probably for a long time, if ever.
I got Metro Redo. Is it
Redux.
Metro Redux.
Should be coming mail soon for GameFly.
That's a good package. That is one of the best packages of this year.
Last night with PN for PS3, which I haven't played yet, but.
I can tell you, you're better for not playing it because Last Light and 2033 were meant to be played on. Last Light was at least meant to be played on the next gen consoles because on the PS3 is absolutely horrendous. I will sit here and I will vouch for Last Light and the Metro series, but Last PS3 is like a piece of shit. Last Light on the PS4 is at least visually engaging and has a couple more options as far as game modes go.
All right.
So
well, that's a packed November. I think I'm gonna get the Master Chief Collection too because that's 4 games, all new achievements. That's a really good package. Everything except ODST and Reach. So and then they redid 2. You get all 100 multiplayer maps. So I might get back into the multiplayer. With that, so I'll probably end up buying that as well. So that's the 2 games I'll get for Xbox One. So now let's see how much time we did here. 42. All right, let's talk about since we just listed all those games. I'm not sure what comes out in December. I can't imagine any more heavy hitters.
Kingdom Hearts 2.5 for Xbox 360 and PS3.
The new Lara Croft game, the new Guardian of Light.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the
Temple of Osiris.
I'm sure the Tomb Raider fans are so happy about that.
That's the isometric one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I did get the free one. That was free too, wasn't it, for the 360? With Games for Gold.
That was
I think so.
free.
It was also free if you bought Tomb Raider on PC. They gave it to you.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up here. So we're gonna start with our text-based buddy here, Willie. So you've heard all the games. You can even go back. You can review what's coming out, what's going to be out. What do you think? Instead of narrowing it to one game of the year, let's do what we think will be top 3.
How can we say top 3 if we haven't played any of these games
well,
yet?
I mean, it's hard. It's hard.
It's like, hey, am I going to shit diamonds tomorrow morning? I don't know. Let's find out.
Well, am I going to shit diamonds? It's okay.
It's kind of a hard question, but it's what you played so far, but what's coming out? Because we've seen what's coming out so far. Now we just got the 3 months. So do you think the game has already been out that's going to be here, or do you think it's going to be one of these heavy hitters that we talked about in the coming months?
What is Korra? Smash Korra.
Korra's a Platinum Games joint.
Oh, okay.
Based on the Avatar show.
Gotcha.
So,
Willie says Smash Brothers, Korra.
How about this? How about instead of I guess now we already started.
Well, I would say it's okay to speculate. It's not. I mean, you can just from what you've seen, gut feeling. I mean, we can revisit it. It doesn't matter.
Not seen a thing that I've been for the year. Like, what are you guys most excited for? That's what I want to hear. What you guys are most excited
Far
for.
Cry 4, Sunset Overdrive. Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Far Cry 4 is definitely, I would say, close to tops of my list. I'm excited to play Unity, not because it's just another Assassin's Creed game, although I do still like the gameplay in Assassin's Creed. But
and
it's the co-op. I want to see... I want to
play that.
Yeah, I kind of want to experience, like, to see if it's, like... If they handled it with enough finesse where, like, you have to play it with a friend who's like-minded, or you can just play a random match with somebody who... hopefully doesn't go around and fuck everything up for you. Because, like, when I play Assassin's Creed, I'm willing to at least entertain the idea that I want to play it stealthy until the point comes where I'm found out and I actually start using my weapons and, you know, hand-to-hand combat and whatnot. So, like, for me, I want to know, the thing that's going to make or break the co-op in that game for me is going to be just how people are placed together, and if I play a random match with somebody, are they just going to run through the mission, fuck everything up, and make it kind of pointless for me to even play?
Yep, I'm really looking forward to playing that game with you.
Yeah.
We had a good time with the cat and mouse. The cat and mouse, that was kind of fun. I didn't think I was going to get you at all, and it's like, that's pretty satisfying getting those kills.
Yeah, it is. The multiplayer in Assassin's Creed, I think, has always been well done. I'm not a competitive multiplayer guy, but I think that there's something fun about the way that Assassin's Creed does it. That, like you said, the cat and mouse type of thing. And Animal, did you ever play that?
Well, yeah, I did. I liked their multiplayer. It was a nice spin, like hide and seek, and it fit well for the series. I am just absolutely not excited for. I'm gonna do my best to not buy Unity or buy into Assassin's Creed.
You'll buy it.
I've really come to a place in my life where I'm trying to slow all that stuff down.
Just bought Armored Poo, you'll buy it.
No, I'm sorry. I enjoy co-op game, and now I'm being fucking chastised by the game.
What's the last major release that you skipped?
1994.
I skipped.
I had Ebola for like 2 months.
I skipped Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls.
Yeah, but you had that for PC.
I did. I'm trying to think. Let me see. Last bit. Well, I haven't bought anything on my Xbox One. I've skipped almost every release.
You'll buy Sunset Overdrive, won't you?
Depends on the score. Depends on the score.
Really?
It really does because because Microsoft or Insomniac announced this week that they're not ruling out a PC edition. It's like, why am I going to sit here and play a GIMP edition when I could play Definitive Edition 6?
Well, it looks like Dead Rising 3 was absolute fucking garbage on PC.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, because the review, I'm sorry, we're going to have to eventually have this discussion, whether we like it or not. That review was a piece of shit, and we all know it. Royka, do you agree?
I mean, I perused. I didn't read it word for word. I perused some of the hot-bedded issues that people were getting upset with, and yeah, I mean, it definitely read more like a opinion. I mean, obviously reviews are opinion, but it didn't really lend a lot of compelling arguments for why the game should score as low as it did, other than I didn't like the game.
Yeah.
What about you, okay? What's your most anticipated?
Oh God. Far Cry 4 is probably the top of the list. That's the one that I'm definitely the most excited to get back into, because the Far Cry 3 world, and I think we've covered it pretty much thoroughly, but I loved it. Absolutely loved Far Cry 3. It jumped out of me, jumped out of nowhere and sunk its claws. So I'm psyched for Far Cry 4. I'm glad that they took their time with it, and they didn't just do like what has it been, 2 years since?
I think so, yeah.
3 years.
3 years since Has it been 3 years? Holy shit.
Two.
2012. It was 2012. But, I look forward to that. Other than that, Oh my God, I'm trying to think. What's Axiom Verge is a game that I'm looking forward to, which is a little indie game that's basically almost like a Metroid remake, but it's obviously has a spin to it. But if you're into the Metroidvania style games, that looks like that is going to be a huge indie. So Axiom.
For an indie, for me, it'd be ROM. Hopefully that comes out this year.
I'm looking forward to a lot of the PS4 games that they lock down for their indie stuff. I know you can probably get most of that stuff on Steam anyways, but I'm happy with the PlayStation just because of the fact that the indies are so good that they release. I can't say that Transistor's Game of the Year. It's not. I can't say Child of Light was Game of the Year because it's really not. But they're really fun games. They're really...
And Velocity is really fun, too. Do you play?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Velocity X.
Yeah. So good.
All right. So that's pretty good. That's a good show. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Thanks for asking me what I'm...
I did. I just said...
What did I say?
You said that
What did you
game.
say?
No, he didn't say anything. What's yours, Animal?
Never mind, I don't want to say it.
No, you have to.
Sorry, I thought you did. What is yours?
No. I'm really excited for, I'm kind of falling out of gaming. I'm really excited for The Evil Within. I don't know. Mikami makes good games. And Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I'm excited for that.
It's coming out in 2 weeks.
How many players can play Far Cry? Look that up real quick before we do.
Probably four. Probably four.
It was 2 on the last game.
Was it?
No, what? No, it wasn't. It was 4.
Was it 4?
It was 2 local, 4 multiplayer.
Oh, I apologize. I got that wrong again. Shit.
Actually, oh wait.
Am I wrong? I don't know.
No, you probably. I just remember Yorick and I playing it. I don't remember playing with anybody else.
No, they haven't come out with any.
All right. Well, if it's 2 or more, you have to play this, John.
I will play with you guys.
I think that'd be fun just to take out a camp with 3 of us. If you can do that, I'm not sure what they'll have until we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. We'd like to thank Willie for twitching us, giving us his opinions, even though they're wrong. But anyway, thanks, Willie.
Yeah, Willie, you're a I love you, Willie.
He recommends the Smash Brothers demo, so keep forgetting about. Once I'm off here, I'm going to go to the eShop and get that little sucker, see what that's like. So thank you, Willie, as always. And let's throw it over to John has his mouth wide open for that cock.
Good ended. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And for Mother, I am the Eroica. Have a